to Making Events Matter. I'm Dom Honey from Event Results, and I'm here with long-term collaborator and old mate, Steve Bather. Steve is the head honcho of the Realise Group, and we've spent our careers turning events from just another gathering to making them matter. Today, we're going to look at how to ensure interaction, engagement, and participation, not only in the event itself, but in advance, during the preparation phase, and definitely afterwards, as the value of the event depends on impact and ongoing legacy. Hey, Steve, how are you doing?
Good, thanks, Dom. Good to see you again. And just a quick thanks to everybody who's subscribed to our Making Events Matter podcasts. And please do give us any comments or questions that you'd like us to address around all matters dealing with events. But today, we're going to talk specifically about how to engage participants early in the process. We've spoken earlier in previous episodes about engaging participants, stakeholders, aligning presenters, and getting everybody kind of ready and set up for the event itself. But we do have this pre-event phase where it's really important to get people, participants, speakers, stakeholders, just connected and leading up to the event. Thinking about the event early maximizes the opportunity for good quality conversations and interactions to happen at the event. So the platform, Dom, you're the expert on setting up the platform. What are the kind of things that we can do now that we couldn't do a few years ago that are of real value to all the stakeholders in the event?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Steve. So the platform we tend to launch early in the process, so attendees can get stuck into the content of the event, typically the agenda, speaker profiles. That tends to be one area that people look at carefully. But more than that, we have AI-powered smart networking. So that networking enables anyone to connect with anyone else. They can see their profiles, and it's really easy to make that connection. And would you believe that about 85% of networking happens on the platform before the event takes place? So it's really important to launch early and enable and encourage that kind of interaction and networking. It's also possible to set up meetings via the platform with people, and obviously you can direct message individuals, but you can also set up group messaging and also trigger video calls, all on the platform itself. It's also easy to see when people are online because there's a green presence dot. So you know in advance when you're in the lead up to the event or when you're actually at the event who is online. And this really comes into play, particularly if we're supporting hybrid or virtual events. Other content that we tend to release in the run-up might be an introductory video from the key stakeholders of the organising committee. And that's a great way to drive interest and also to share information about the purpose and objectives of the event that they'll be attending. And it's an easy way for attendees to consume that information. And then for some events, we go as far as gamifying. So we launch the platform and encourage the audience to get involved by ensuring that they have a purpose, if you like. So we make it a little bit competitive to access various different bits of the platform. And then for some socially orientated events, we might enable a photo booth, a virtual photo booth, so people can share, a bit like Instagram, but private to the audience, where people can share pictures of themselves or funny situations, and also we can gamify that as well.
Excellent. And beyond all that kind of interesting connection and collaboration and getting up and running, we've also found in the last few years that many potential participants are having to justify or write a business case in order to attend the event. They're applying for grants or perhaps for a budget within their own organization. Governments, academia, certainly have this restriction. And I think the online platform in advance of the event gives them the opportunity to really show what the value is from their participation in the event, and therefore justify some of that budget. And effectively, it makes it easier for them to write the business case.
Yeah, definitely. And also, by launching early, attendees get used to the platform. They know how to navigate it in their, they learn about the platform. Not that it's difficult to use, but they learn about the platform in advance, and therefore they're much more familiar with it when it comes to using effectively the same tool during the event itself.
Yeah, and one of those tools, of course, is the forum. So the forum is used throughout the event itself, but we also pre-launch that as part of the platform. It's a simple button, alongside the other information. It takes you into the XLeap tool, and there may be some pre-event questions that we ask. We might ask about their expectations, what they're hoping to achieve, to learn, who they might wish to meet, what presentations they might be most interested in, and so on. And that's just a general way, as you say, to get people used to the type of technologies and the platform opportunities that they've got in that pre-event phase. But it also gives them the opportunity to be really specific and get used to the use of the tools. So we've talked about this before. The tools provide this kind of multiple channel communication opportunity. We provide speakers with feedback and questions, comments during the presentation, which we can then pick up as facilitators and pose back to the presenter. The standard kind of brainstorm ideation kind of process, but it also gives us the ability to do some multiple criteria ratings, so we can decide on priorities against 1, 2, or even more criteria, and get a real sense of what the level of consensus from those voting opportunities are for all the participants equally. And we can also do wonderful things like the recent conference we ran for the illegal wildlife trade, where towards the end of the 3 days, we got people to collaborate on writing effectively the outcome statement, the mandate that came out of the conference, that had a clear intention of what areas people were going to focus on, and effectively actually took 5 or 6 weeks afterwards for the relevant organizations to approve the mandate that had come out of the conference. And I can't remember very significant changes being made to the mandate that was written, during that session in the last 90 minutes or so of the conference. So it's a real opportunity for people to collaborate, and whilst they're in place, whilst they're in the event, to actually decide what the outcomes are and what the actions and what the further work is, which is a really powerful way of kind of underlining the value from the conference.
Yeah, and Steve, so this anonymous tool, which can also be made non-anonymous if you want to have tags for people and such like. So there's a great deal of flexibility with this tool. But I know that it's possible also to introduce an AI participant into the tool. Now, why would we do that?
Well, it's an interesting kind of way of dealing with the obvious use of AI. The collaboration tool, particularly if you think about an ideation or a brainstorm, what you can do is you can configure a virtual participant, and you can give this a persona. This can be directed about a number of kind of features, functionality of that participant, where they're from, what their background is, what their experience is, and what their focus is for the event. And according to how you set up the AI participant, it will contribute a number of ideas against the participants' ideas going in. So you can identify the ones that are generated by AI, but you can also hide them and then reveal them later. You can set it so that for every 5 ideas, perhaps, that are input by participants in the room, we can add 1 or 2 ideas generated by AI. And you can have multiple AI participants, so that you're ensuring that you get different perspectives. And one of the huge advantages of this, of course, is that during the purest brainstorm, people are reading what other people have put in, and that's triggering further ideas and further context. So it kind of tends to really accelerate and build the quality and the quantity of the ideas generated.
I think that's amazingly cool in this day and age, and I think really powerful use of AI. But of course, it's not all about technology, is it? Although obviously that underpins a lot of what we offer. But when we talk about interaction, engagement, networking, we also deploy various in-room or even virtual, but typically in-room tactics to encourage all of those things as well. So do you just want to touch on a little bit about the different formats that we might run in terms of sessions, how we might encourage networking for an in-person event? So this kind of the face-to-face, we don't forget the face-to-face. We still allow people to put their hand up, for example, during Q&A. They don't have to type everything in. But in terms of what do you think are the most engaging types of sessions or formats?
Yeah. I think generally the answer to that question is more about one of the focuses that we put to the design of the event is how we will manage participant energy over the day, the half day, or the multiple days. And mixing up the sessions and giving people the opportunity to kind of align with their preferred style, if you like. Some people are much more comfortable talking in twos and threes or in table groups rather than putting their hand up in front of 150 other people and asking a question. Some people are more comfortable, typing in their question into the forum rather than having to say it out loud. And mixing and matching the different types of dynamic in the room will give absolutely everybody in the room the opportunity to participate, and of course including virtual participants as well, who can feel very isolated when they're not in the room and they're kind of watching from afar. But our virtual participants actually interact. They're using the platform, which we talked about earlier, and also the forum. So if we try and reduce, as we've said many times before on these podcasts, the length and the style of presentations, make them a bit more interactive, have a Q&A that's at least as long as the presentation, restrict the presentation. Can't remember inviting anybody to speak for more than sort of 15-20 minutes absolute max, and generally they're much shorter than that. So powerful short inputs, lots of discussion, put it into a table group. Put a number of participants or presenters on the stage and have a panel discussion, have multiple work streams, have different dynamics and different styles, particularly watching and managing that energy in the room. So everybody feels kind of able and willing to interact and participate.
Sounds good, Steve. That's really clear. We've only got a couple of minutes left, so should we just move on now to the post-event phase, where we're turning our thoughts to building and maintaining and continuing the interaction for the community over, say, typically 6 months, but some of our communities of practice have gone much, much longer than that. What do you think are the major points that we achieve in the post-event phase?
I'm going to come at this at a slightly different angle, because what I want to talk about is, what we've noticed in the last couple of years is that, with all the generative participation tools and the self-documentation that participants are provided with during the event, and the recordings and everything else, the transcripts, we are in danger of overwhelming that post phase with far too much information. So what we're really focused on is what's important from that. What are the summaries? What are the exec outcomes and the briefing papers that we need to produce from that? So we do an awful lot of work with the client in the design phase, setting expectations about what we're going to do with a lot of that material. I don't believe that anybody will have missed a 3-day event and then diligently watch the entire thing, even when most video recaptures will allow you to play it on double time. But what those people need to do is interrogate that data, the massive amount of information that we've created, perhaps using AI tools to kind of fix on the pieces of information and the knowledge that's relevant to them. They might be an academic, they might be an early career researcher, and they're looking for specific insights and speakers and topics that would have been of interest to them had they been at the event in this post-event phase. So I think it has to be built in, it has to be designed, it has to be thoroughly thought through in that design and planning phase as to what material is going to do for what. And there is this legacy, but most of the legacy is about progressing the work, working together in multi-task teams, getting experts together to network beyond and so on. And the reference material, the starting point, is the material that we produce, the reports, the videos, the transcripts, the exec summaries and things that we produce in that immediate post phase. And I think the other thing we do, which you're incredibly good at, Dom, is to almost prepare and get those reports and things ready so that they're launched instantly. Because in the old days, that legacy of kind of, going around and trying to pick up on the report and then getting it published maybe a week or 2 weeks or even longer after the event, people have lost that initiative.
It's too late, isn't it? Yeah,
it's too late. So getting back to your desk and seeing the information is absolutely a powerful way of kind of really triggering that post-event collaborative phase.
Yeah, I think on the one hand, the platform serves as the knowledge hub of what happened at the event, and we can obviously publish the videos and the reports of the questions and the answers, etc. But I think packaging that all up and making short summaries available, making sure that there's an AI that can answer the questions that an attendee has, not just providing an avalanche of content, is a much smarter way of using the tools available to us. And then there are simple things like the pictures that are taken at the event. So often attendees want pictures to inform their own feedback to their own organizations, making sure those are available. But then more than that, maintaining the platform, increasing the membership, enabling all members to share their updates easily, either in a private group or publicly on a news feed. I think all of those things increase and maintain the momentum coming out of the event on the other side. So brilliant, Steve. I think we've hit our buffer, our TED Talk buffer. So
very good.
We should just say thank you very much to all our listeners, and please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Put on the notification so you get an alert the next time we release a podcast.
Yep. And let us know what you think. So add some comments. Perhaps if you want to know more about any particular topic that we've covered, we can go into more depth about what we do and how we do it. And we'd be delighted to hear from you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Dom.